Manchmal spiele ich so Genshin und ich denke mir so, eigentlich kannst du dir auch eine Pepsi gönnen. Und dann mache ich das. Und dann fängt die Quest auch an. Die Grafik ist irgendwie ein bisschen weird, ich weiß auch nicht warum. Übrigens, Legendenauftrag für Yelan, ne? Deswegen sind wir hier. Hallo, Hüchen. Was geht ab?
Hey, Häuschen.
Ah, Häuschen. Wie auch immer.
Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Es tut mir leid, aber ohne phonetische Namen kann ich hier leider nichts rauslesen. Es tut mir leid.
Better all the time.
Ah ja, wir haben ja geholfen, den Jade-Palast neu zu bauen.
But I've been feeling distracted at work lately. I just feel constantly agitated.
Okay, was ist denn passiert?
It's a long story. But my father, he's thinking of stepping down from the Tianshu position due to health issues.
Das ist ja jetzt erstmal nicht schlimm. Das ist aber mehr zu Hause, ist doch nett.
What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's just increasingly low on energy these days.
Oh ja, gut, das passiert, wenn man alt wird
Old
manchmal.
age comes for us all in the
Ja,
end.
eben, sag ich ja.
Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional watching it happen to him. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House. Why don't you come pay him a visit with me?
Klar.
He seems very fond of you too. I'm sure chatting with you will make him
Machen wir
very
definitiv. Ich weiß noch nicht, was das mit Yelan zu tun hat, aber das werden wir ja gleich herausfinden. Ach, das ist das komische Teehaus, wo wenn die rein dürfen. Ah. Heil schon. Hallo? Ah.
We're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea?
Ja, immer gerne. Also ich sag mal, Story erzählen sind die Genshin-Leute nicht die besten drin. Also, warum war die jetzt hier? Also hier oben. Oh, naja. Die hat halt aktiv noch nichts wirklich zur Story beigetragen. Wir machen uns ein bisschen Sorgen um deine Gesundheit, Onkelchen.
Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me.
Ja gut, aber das passiert ja mal, ne?
As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today.
Gut, aber wer soll denn der Tianshu werden, der Nächste? Die Nächste, das Nächste, dem Nächste, dem Nächste, des Nächste.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Ne, man wird ja einfach denken, der nächstniedrigere würde einfach ausgewählt werden.
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is
also der nächste Shishing quasi.
Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice. So a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces. So we tend to be as discreet as possible.
Ergibt ja jetzt auch erstmal Sinn, ne?
For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
Ach so, die können sich einfach selber permanent halten als Tianshus, indem sie sich einfach selber Leute vorschlagen, die sie gut
So in
finden.
other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Ja.
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself.
Oh, und das sollen wir machen.
Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf.
Sie soll das machen.
In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh? Who is it?
Es ist Yelan.
Broken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
AKA weibliche Kaya.
Yelan!
Oh, das ist einfach Kaya, der crossdressed. Who knows?
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu.
Kann ich auch der nächste Tianshu werden?
What do you think?
Ah, warum nicht?
I think
Auf
so
geht's.
too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
Ja, warum nicht?
Alright then. Though, I got
Wo müssen wir hin?
Uncle Tian. You say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Hätte ich nämlich fast gedacht.
Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long.
Ah. Wer ist denn da gestorben? Schon wieder ein Krankenwagen vorbeigefahren. Naja.
So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll
Was ist denn
recommend you
das
for
für
the
ein
job.
Bullshit? Wenn die Bewertung gibt, dass keiner der anderen Kandidaten für die Stelle qualifiziert ist, werde ich dich für die Arbeit empfehlen. Sie darf aber auswählen, wer qualifiziert ist oder nicht. Was ist das denn für ein Bullshit? Die können einfach von vornherein auch sagen, es sind alle Kacke, nimm mich.
Deal.
Hä?
You guys, take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant
Dem ersten Stock von was?
Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house.
Dürfen wir endlich mal in das Gebäude rein?
You're all set?
Jo, wir sind fertig. Wir sind fertig.
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah.
Ja gut,
It may
kann
sound
ich ja jetzt
harsh,
nichts für,
but Uncle
ne?
Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi.
Ja, warum habt ihr euch nicht noch schwierigere Namen ausgedacht? Mensch, wir sind hier im Westen, wir können solche Namen nicht aussprechen. Das soll ja auch jetzt keinesfalls rassistisch sein, aber das sind halt einfach Buchstabenkombinationen, die wir so nicht wirklich benutzen.
Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur.
Qinwei.
Mingbo works at the Liyue
Mingbo,
Ministry of
okay.
Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study
Zhi?
and travel.
Ich will fast sagen, das hört sich wie ein neues Neopronom an, aber dann schlagen mich wieder Menschen.
Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Kann man da nicht essen?
Tianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Ich wollte gerade sagen, was wollen wir eigentlich wissen von denen?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion.
Okay,
Alright.
dann nicht.
Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Okay, schaffen wir.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Ich finde die Brücken hier immer noch so geil. Ich muss irgendwie mal mehr reisen. Ich meine, es gibt ja jetzt das 2-Cent-Ticket. 9-Euro-Ticket. Womit man sich sowas mal gönnen kann. Also jetzt nicht nach Japan oder so vielleicht reisen oder China, aber so 5 Meter irgendwo anders hin. Ich war ja letztens, das ist vor knapp einem Monat, war ich ja in Nürnberg. Das ist nicht Bayern. Ja, es ist zwar im gleichen Bundesland, aber es ist nicht Bayern. Das ist ganz wichtig für die Leute da. Und die Landschaft ist ja schon sehr schön da alles. Ne, die Menschen ist natürlich eine andere Sache. Können auch nett sein, sprechen halt nur ein bisschen komisch, aber das ist okay. Na, deswegen würde ich gerne einfach mal sowieso ein bisschen mehr rumkommen. Ich bin ja hier oben im Norden.
This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair.
Okay, den wollen wir schon mal nicht. Der ist scheiße. Der denkt, er hat irgendwas verdient. Hat er nicht. Er hat gar nichts verdient. Ja, was ich meine, Hannover so oben bei mir ist halt so die langweiligste Stadt der Welt. So, es ist halt einfach, es ist eine Stadt. Mehr hat sie nicht.
I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Da hast du natürlich einerseits recht, andererseits ist die Position ja eh eine, die aus dem Hintergrund agiert. Also bekommst du 0 Prestige dafür.
Oh,
Oder solltest du ihn
come
da
on.
nicht für nutzen?
That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable.
Bis jetzt mag ich den am meisten.
Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Siehst du, der ist einfach schlau. Er hat schon 2 Sachen gemacht, ja? 3 eigentlich. Er war halt vernünftig, hat sich nicht wegen so einem Bullshit gestritten. 1. Nummer 2, er ist pragmatisch. So, wir können uns einfach Stühle holen. Und Nummer 3, es gibt keine Regel, also können wir es machen. Also ist er schon der perfekte Politiker. Wir nehmen ihn. Wir nehmen ihn.
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
Ich hasse dich. Verpiss dich einfach. Qianwei, du bist ein Arsch.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived.
Die 3, über die wir gesprochen haben, sind also die Dudes.
We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process.
Okay.
I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview.
Okay, hört sich
In the
erstmal
first
gut an.
stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person.
Das finde ich erstmal gut. Da bin ich ja gespannt, was sie uns so
Writing a
vorschlagen möchten.
manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Na, lass doch mal reinschauen.
Wow. One of them is really thick.
Ja, dick muss nicht heißen gut.
It's also worth mentioning a
Könnte aber auch
stipulation I
durchsacht
gave
sein.
them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto.
Also, okay, das heißt, die dürfen da halt nicht so Sachen reinschreiben, die nicht erfüllbar sind. Ne? Beziehungsweise der Dicke könnte einen Vorteil haben oder auch einen Nachteil. Weil der Dicke könnte halt detailliert beschreiben, wie und mit was zu rechnen ist. Er könnte aber auch, da er so detailliert ist, sie dann einschränken bei dem, wie sie ihre Pläne umsetzen.
Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues.
Finde ich eine gute Sache. So eine Regelung müsste es auch in unserer Politik geben. Die müssen das machen, was da
There's
drin
still some
steht.
time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
So, wir sitzen dafür natürlich. Planungsdokument von Xiue. Xiues Plan umfasst verschiedene Aspekte, darunter innerstaatliche Angelegenheiten, auswärtige Angelegenheiten und Korruptionsbekämpfung. Sein Plan ist sehr detailliert. Ja, ist ganz nett. Er befasst sich offensichtlich mit dem Kernpunkt Problemlösung, wobei er kurz gefasste und klare Lösungswege für verschiedene Probleme macht. Kann aber auch ein Problem werden. Da sein Plan wirklich sehr viele Seiten hat, kann man ihn nur einfach überfliegen. Ja. Das heißt, ja, mal gucken. Qianwei hat in seinem Plan viel über geschäftliche Sachen geschrieben. Viele Ansichten sind umfassend und tiefgründig. Regeln und Interessen sind untrennbar miteinander verbunden. Das scheint Qianweis Standpunkt zu sein. Okay. Mingbos Plan umfasst alle Aspekte der inneren Angelegenheiten und des Lebensunterhalts der Menschen. Wohlstand ist immer mit Gemeinsein verbunden. Das scheint Mingbos Philosophie zu sein. Okay. Der erste könnte der beste sein, aber mal gucken. Mal gucken.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward.
Wenn die nicht das Beste gemacht haben, dann wären die jetzt eh schon raus.
Keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets.
Okay, und was sagst du, Yelan?
That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Qianwei.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hätte ich mir merken sollen, wer was gemacht hat. Der Xiue hat den dicken Plan
So
gehabt.
you two are the assessment officers, are you?
Ach, das war der, den wir nicht gemocht haben,
I had
glaube ich,
assumed
ne?
that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces.
Halt einfach dein Maul.
I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Ja, ist okay.
Oh, mister.
Ist halt echt so.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact.
Die Art, wie du redest, ist wirklich, ja, schlimm.
Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about.
Ja, danke.
With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Weißt du, was du vielleicht verstehen solltest? Dass wenn man eine Faust nimmt und sie in dein Gesicht steckt, dass es weh tut. Also halt die Schnauze.
Oh, is it my turn?
Hi, Mingbo. Ja, Mingbo hat mir, glaube ich, nicht so gefallen von den Blättern da.
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Das heißt, er hat zumindest schon mal Erfahrung.
I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases.
Und er steht anscheinend auf Statistiken.
I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days?
Ja, mal
My
gucken.
current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
Naja, muss er aber auch nicht sein. Der Ting Shu, wie es auch immer nochmal hieß, ich habe schon wieder vergessen, der arbeitet ja eh aus dem Hintergrund hier raus. Also es ist nicht so wichtig.
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, und das ist Siwe, den wir bis jetzt am besten fanden, aber sein Plan könnte problematisch sein.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous.
Das ist okay, das sind wir
What
alle.
would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Naja, da ist nämlich die Frage, wie der Plan aufgebaut ist. Sind das tatsächlich Plansachen so wie, wir machen das und das? Oder unser Ziel ist das und das? Weil wenn man sagt, das ist unser Ziel, dann kann man das umsetzen. Dann ist man in der Umsetzung quasi komplett frei. Aber?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts.
Okay, er basiert seine Sachen also auf Expertenmeinung. Das ist nicht schlecht, aber auch Experten können eingebildet sein. Die haben auch alle Probleme im Zweifel. Aber ist schon mal besser als nichts.
Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
Ja, das ist aber auch nicht immer, also ja, da sind alle mit zufrieden oder alle halt finden es auch jetzt so, okay, cool, du machst halt was, das ist okay, es gibt Sinn, aber es ist jetzt nicht so der krasse Änderung, die wir erwartet hätten.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the
Gute
optimal
Frage.
one?
Gute
A great
Frage.
question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results.
Nicht
If it
schlecht.
turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Ich meine, er ist jetzt irgendwie der sinnvollste Kandidat, würde ich sagen.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
Like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and was just a pleasure to listen to.
Stimmt oder nicht so richtig? Sie sagen mal
Here's
stimmt.
my take on what we just learned.
Okay.
As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, which effectively target the big issues.
Ja.
But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented.
Ja, aber die Details können halt das große Problem
He and
sein.
Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Ja, aber muss er ja nicht unbedingt sein. Also er muss nicht unbedingt stark sein.
Summary. Paimon couldn't agree more.
Last but not least,
Ups, ich hab sie abgehackt.
his manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is the depth he goes into in each and every area means
hab schon wieder jemand
he will be a
abgekattet.
product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people.
Ja.
But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Zhi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Ja, würde ich jetzt auch mal sagen. Es ist jetzt kein großer Paradigmen-Shift, aber es wäre stetige Verbesserung quasi.
Great.
Oder Stagnation. Vielleicht beides.
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle
Okay.
Tien.
Hier hochzukommen ist immer so doof, aber hier runterzukommen ist halt einfach... Ja, spring halt, lol. Ich kann sogar von hier oben direkt in das Teehaus fliegen.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
Okay.
Then let me ask this. The ideas in Zhi's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But
Er kennt ihn natürlich.
those three candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with
Okay, er kennt also alle drei.
But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Zhi was with me for the longest duration.
Was man auch merkt.
Whoa. So how did you get to know them all, Uncle
Hat er doch gerade gesagt, er hat mit denen zusammengearbeitet.
Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. And as for Zhi, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Zhi came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner.
Was jetzt erstmal nicht schlimm ist,
He
ne?
reminded me of a younger version of myself.
Er hat sich
So,
quasi
I
die
started out giving him a few words.
Vertretung, nicht Vertretung, sondern die Nachfolger schon
Noticed how
ausgesucht,
quickly he got
herangezogen.
on.
Es fühlt sich eher wie Freunde an, wie Familie vielleicht sogar.
Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see, but it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies.
Niemand kann den Kreislauf des Lebens entkommen. Noch nicht. Noch nicht.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means...
Du kannst sogar hier beim Tee trinken runterangeln. Ach du Scheiße, da hab ich ja noch gar nicht dran gedacht.
What old men like me should be doing.
Boah, Alter, das ist ja super
You
nice.
sure love fishing, Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fischsuppe bin ich ja jetzt nicht so der Fan von.
Fresh fish soup. Mmm, sounds tasty.
doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Juri purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman.
Ah ja.
We've been fishing recently. Juri always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of these makes the soup taste even more wonderful.
Ja, also sag doch einfach, dass du sie nehmen möchtest
That
als
flavor makes for a
Nachfolger.
fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Ja, bestimmt noch 7 Millionen Mal. Alles gut.
Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants to try it.
Nein, Paimon, du kommst in die Suppe.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tian, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision.
Ja, aber er ist ja auch menschlich einfach die
Thorough review
beste
of
Wahl.
each candidate's talents and capabilities. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood.
Okay.
Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian. Look after yourself.
Okay, bye bye. Muss ich selber laufen? Werde ich gelaufen? Ich werde gelaufen, ja.
Right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Oder alle drei.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear.
Ah, wir sollen die also quasi nochmal untersuchen.
The
Die auch.
biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You
Also
have to get
machen wir mal ein
information
paar
from different channels.
Background-Checks.
For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Wo kommt die denn her?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they? Where?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me.
Das haben wir
As
mitbekommen
my
so ein
trusted
bisschen.
assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required.
Das ist ja voll nett von denen.
Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
Ja, ja, der ist bestimmt auch einfach um die Ecke.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Ja, du musst doch nicht schwimmen, wenn du auf dem Meer irgendwas untersuchst. Also bitte.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Den gehen wir jetzt persönlich besuchen.
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves.
Siehste.
Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
If we're
Okay.
looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North Wharf.
Ah, doch, den kennt man.
Some news for us.
That's actually not a bad
Den
idea.
kennen wir tatsächlich. Mit dem haben wir auch schon mal gesprechert. Ja, wir wollen doch eh mit dem sprechen, hä? Das ist doch auch richtig, wenn er hier ist.
Your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet.
Oh, krass.
If you won't take them, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants that.
Mach das doch.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life.
Ha, du bist so doof. Du bist so ein Idiot. Ältester Trick im
What are you
Verhandeln.
doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Ich habe unendlich viel von denen in meiner Tasche. Alles gut.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known.
Das ist erstmal gut, wenn er einen
I've
guten
heard
Ruf
a
hat.
story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community.
Das deckt sich ja erstmal mit dem, was der Onkel gesagt
One
hat.
of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family.
Ja, aber ich dachte, er hatte auch kein Geld.
He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boutique.
Nein, Bolai, jetzt beruhig dich.
Sounds like a decent man. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too?
Nein, wir wollen was ganz anderes von ihm.
In that case, the higher bidder takes the... that's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Nein, danke.
Where? Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow them and listen in.
Ein
Try
bisschen
not to let
zuhören.
him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
Mach, was du willst, Bolai.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
Dödem.
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
Ah, ja. Dödem.
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful.
Ah.
Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Will Fake-Sachen kaufen. Was denn da los? Kann ich da hinrollen?
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see.
Alte Freunde,
I'll be
sagst du.
sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Wo gehst du jetzt hin? Mit wem redest du jetzt? Mit niemandem. Okay.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
Ja, von einer Unterhaltung. Ich sag doch auch nicht jedem, mit dem ich mich unterhalte, was ich für komische Sachen mache. Nur bestimmten
We
Leuten.
shouldn't
Nur
jump to
selten.
conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have to?
Ja, Paimon.
You're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianshu yourself, are you?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys.
Oh, das reicht mir.
You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
We will? Well, come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
Paimon, so funktioniert das nicht. Warte, jetzt ist er wieder da hinten hingegangen. Südliche Anlegestelle. Warte, das ist da ganz hinten. So, wo schimmelt der Junge denn jetzt rum?
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
Okay. Der verkauft uns immer überteuerte Krabben. Oder nee, der hat uns überteuerte Sachen verkauft. Der hat immer gute Sachen verkauft hier. Das ist der gute Fischdealer.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Ich möchte einige Informationen
Sorry
haben.
to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Zhi, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eye.
Yelan ist gut im Lügen. Das braucht man als Politiker, wenn das werden sollte, ne?
Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him.
Ja gut, aber auch nur in letzter Zeit, also könnte der auch so ein bisschen schummeln.
Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Warum? Ist er kein guter Angler?
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
Ja, gib uns ruhig mal die Nummer.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Okay, hört sich gut an.
Sure thing.
Würde ich machen.
See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Das muss nicht unbedingt was Gutes sein, wenn man überall von ihm gehört hat. Suche nach weiteren Hinweisen. Ja gut, dann, rede ich einfach mit Menschen, die ich hier so finde?
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000.
Ja, ja, du verarschst uns hier
Better
wieder.
hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Hahaha.
She switched identity again.
Die hat auch die gleiche Identität nehmen können, aber gut.
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Wollen wir doch.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Zhi who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently.
Ja.
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know.
Ah, ja.
I
Sagen Sie
haven't
doch mal
heard
raus.
anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Okay.
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. And he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Bis jetzt decken sich die Geschichten alle.
He can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business. Don't tell him I said that.
Okay.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him.
Das ist vielleicht nicht ganz so gut.
I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Das ist ja schon mal ein guter
No
Anfang.
problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
Ja, ja, du verarschst uns nur
The
mit
more
deinen
times you
Fischpreisen.
say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Ja.
Doesn't have a lot of Mora to his name. Okay, let's keep going.
Fragen wir mal den nächsten Boy. Euch beide? Habt ihr eine Meinung? Nein? Hast du eine Meinung? Ja, du hast eine Meinung.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you.
Ja.
What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Bisschen dem Kind bis in die Karten spielen.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
Ja, natürlich.
But of course. We also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
So einfach manipulierbar, der Dogu.
Great!
Dugo.
So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
Ja, aber es ist ja eine gut gemeinte Lüge.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days?
In letzter Zeit, das ist halt komisch, in letzter
I've
Zeit halt
heard
nur.
many tales of jury. For example,
Den Ernst?
Probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Okay, danke.
I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago.
Das ist nicht wirklich lang.
Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him.
Huh.
Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
Nichts, alles gut.
Just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great.
Doch, du bist super.
Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Ah, es sind Leute, die er nicht kennt.
Oh, definitely.
Great, so next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Das heißt, es gibt hier Leute, die gut über ihn reden, die aber eigentlich nicht von hier sind.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Hahaha. Mal ein bisschen austreiben.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Bye, Dogu. Dogu, egal.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Ja, ein bisschen.
Strange? What was strange about it? Jur-E seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gas spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him too.
Ja, aber erst seit kurzem.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from?
Ja,
Almost
eben.
seems too good to be true.
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's a little over the top, if you ask me.
Stimmt, warum sollte der groß außerhalb von Liyue bekannt sein, wegen den beiden Sachen nur?
Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the plus. There's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months.
Ja, das
His
ist
childhood,
seltsam.
his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
Der hat einen guten PR-Berater wahrscheinlich.
When you put it like that, it is kinda strange.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
The problem is, Do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign.
Ja, irgendwer hat ihm geholfen oder mit ihm zusammengearbeitet,
Right.
ne?
And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing.
Ah, folge dem Spur des Geldes. Ja,
That's the worst case
schlau.
scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do?
Naja, vielleicht, wir wissen es ja nicht. Vielleicht will auch jemand ihm nur aushelfen.
Even if we asked Juri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan.
Dann hau mal raus.
Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues.
Okay.
Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's
Gute
manifesto.
alte Lobbyarbeit haben die mit dem Jungen betrieben.
Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea House. Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up will be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. When we're finished, we'll put our heads together.
Okay.
Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Das schaffen wir aber.
We better hurry.
Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of his favorite students. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully and think critically.
Das schaffen wir. Wir sind absolute Profis. So, ich würde mich gerne hier hinsetzen. Ich will nicht direkt mit dir reden. Auf geht's.
Even though Yelan took half, this is still a lot to get through.
Yep.
Well, we gotta start somewhere.
Kapitel Meer. Das Meer ist in den letzten Jahren aufgrund einer Reihe von Faktoren stürmischer geworden. Es werden spezielle Patrouillen vorgeschlagen, um die verschiedenen Seeungeheuer zu bekämpfen. Die Flottenaufstellung ist eine knappe Darstellung der verschiedenen Aspekte der Seeverteidigung. Bla bla bla. Erstmal uninteressant, glaube ich. Felsen. Es gibt viele Vollsagen, etwa dass der Rex Lapis seine Reichtum in den Bergen von Liebe verloren hat. Aufgrund von Hindernissen, die den Abbau an der großen Kluft behindern, wurden jedoch viele Projekte abgesagt. Die aber der Schwarzsteinschmiede waren schon seit langem in der Nähe der Goldstube. Sobald es einen geeigneten Auftrag gibt, sollten sie ihn zuerst bekommen. Das ist schon mal sehr suspekt. Dass er da irgendwelche Leute bevorzugen will beim Abbau. Aufgrund des bergigen Geländes des Huguan Steinwaldes und des Qingqiong-Gipfels ist das Gebiet verkehrstechnisch schlecht angebunden. Die Gipfel sind nur durch Hängebrücken verbunden, die für Menschen gefährlich und für den Transport von Gütern noch ungeeigneter sind. Das Gebiet ist reich an Heilkräutern und Erzen und es wäre für alle eine große Freude, wenn es eine Umgehungsstraße um den Berg herum gäbe. Okay. Ich kann nicht weiterlesen. Aber wir wissen, was wir wissen wollen.
Reading is giving Paimon a headache. Let's take a break.
Wir wissen aber, was wir wissen wollen.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Ah, Shonghua.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Shonghua! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Ja, was du auch immer getan
Drag
hast.
this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Tianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him.
Ah, also die denken doch nicht so schlecht
The
von
young
ihm.
master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Tianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works.
Die Feiyun Händlergilde, das ist doch Xingshus Händlergilde. Die sein Bruder leitet, nicht Xingshu, aber Xingshu ist eigentlich der bessere Nachfolger, egal.
Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Ha!
Who'd have thought.
Nicht
Is it
schlecht.
possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei's accounts are open to the public.
Was? Er will Politiker sein und seine Konten sind öffentlich? Die können einfach reingucken, wofür er Geld
Where
ausgibt?
he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all.
Huh.
Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets.
Netter Dude?
It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
Ja, er ist einfach gut in dem, was er tut.
Strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora, but instead...
Er will einfach nur beweisen, dass er krasser ist als alle
To
anderen.
validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? Ah, how come you're here?
Ja, er läuft einfach schneller.
Think. Obviously, because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the competition. Well, when you're the competition, at least.
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you.
Ach so, was musstest du denn machen?
I have finished investigating Mingbua.
Ja, was ist denn mit dem
Well,
los?
we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
Das ist gut.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbua at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation
Nicht so
he
wie
has today.
Schuhe, wie auch immer.
According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval.
Okay, also ein sehr, sehr wichtiger Mann für uns.
Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
Whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Also ist er vielleicht doch besser, oder sind die beiden Kandidaten doch besser als der
Like I said
dritte?
before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah, so that's what you meant by that.
Thank you both.
Genau, Paimon. Ich lass dich nicht ausreden. Bye.
So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
Ja,
Still have a bit left.
aber wir wissen schon, was kaputt ist.
I can't see any immediate
Doch,
problems
doch.
looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Tianshu Pool redevelopment plan.
Tümpel-Entwicklungsprojekt?
Tianshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground.
Okay, ja.
At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Tianshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special kind of explosive.
Gut, aber das wollen die dann doch nicht
The
machen.
technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems out of step with the rest of his plans.
Würde ich jetzt auch erstmal
Still,
sagen.
this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions. Did you find anything?
Ja.
Expedition, project, treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto?
Die Schwarzsteinschmiede.
Jury said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable projects come up.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Jury wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Tianshu pool.
Ja, der Kreis hat sich geschlossen.
The Blackcliff Forge is Jury's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any powerful factions at present.
Huh.
They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like this. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead.
Ja, eben. Einfach mal anklopfen. Vielleicht ist ja doch was dran.
What both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Jury? Is there another side to him too?
Lass mich rein.
Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Baustellenbericht. Nichts zu dokumentieren. Zahltag, 3 neue Mitarbeiter sind hinzugekommen. Ich hatte nicht erwartet, dass neue Leute kommen würden. Einer der Neulinge ist sehr geschickt, der zum Teamleiter befördert wurde. Nichts zu dokumentieren. Okay.
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These newcomers, who could have sent them?
You think they're suspicious?
Möglicherweise.
Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Tianshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jury recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities.
Das ist richtig.
That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
Ja, aber das ist doch gut, wenn er weiter voraus planen kann für die Position.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure. So, who's really behind all this?
Schatzräuber oder Fatui, wer anders kann es ja nicht sein.
Question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker over there for now.
Stell dir vor, der stellt auch keine Fragen, ne? Wir kommen einfach hier hin und gucken seine Bücher an und der denkt sich so, cool. Cool, mach mal.
Excuse us, we want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you or something?
Nein.
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably fast.
Weil die wahrscheinlich schon alle können.
My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them.
Oh.
I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing it's a long trip to the nearest tavern.
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wanmin Restaurant.
Okay, das ist aber viel Aufwand dafür, ne?
It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again right away.
Das heißt, wir sollen die doch finden.
You're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else.
Okay.
Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager they've been going to intelligence updates.
Sehr
Good thing
wahrscheinlich.
it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and try our luck.
Boah, man kann es aber versuchen, ne? Was soll schon passieren? So, Liyue geht links rum.
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
Ist auch erstmal richtig. So, und Liyue wäre jetzt rechts herum. Also quasi hier weiter. Oh, tatsächlich.
These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They
Ah.
didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way.
Die sind hier abgebogen. Aber auch nicht da hoch. Die sind hier irgendwie ins Nichts. Gut, dass ich hier keine Fußspuren sehe. Und hier sind wieder welche.
The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house.
Sieht doch nett aus. So, was habt ihr denn hier liegen lassen? Zusammengedrückte Erde. Eine Bambusmatte hat Streifen in der Erde gedrückt. Es scheint so, als ob hier jemand geschlafen hätte. Aber die Bambusmatte, die hier anscheinend gelegt hat, ist verschwunden. Was ist mit der warmen Asche? Warme Asche, hier wurde vor nicht allzu langer Zeit etwas verbrannt. Okay. Merkwürdige Spuren. Hier scheint es Anzeigen zu geben, dass ein Kampf stattgefunden hat, aber es ist nicht offensichtlich. Und was ist hier? Ein frischer Oskorn wurde ein Laubhaufen gefunden. Sollte darauf finden, dass vor nicht allzu langer Zeit jemand hier war, aber es ist schwer, weitere Hinweise zu finden.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But all the evidence has been destroyed.
Boah, sind die schlau.
Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we
Kannst
arrived.
du nicht die Zeit zurückdrehen?
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible. I've checked. All the paper's been burned. There's only ash left now.
Oh.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge? They've got to go back there sooner or later.
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysteriously abandoned now. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation off course.
Ah, oder das natürlich.
Guess this is where our trail runs cold.
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in.
Aha, du hast was gerochen? Lavendelmelonen.
Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions
Was?
produce different odors when they're burned.
Okay.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
Einen sehr milden Duft, aber vielleicht stinkt Paimon auch
There's a
einfach.
certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing.
Okay.
When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind.
Schneeschneia, also Fatui.
Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone with. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with. I can plan our next move.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Ah, wer bist du denn?
Who are you?
Ach, der Dritte, von dem sie
Don't
gesprochen
be
hat.
alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out to sea to ask around. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Black Cliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup.
Voll smart.
What did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed.
Oh.
I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard.
Oh.
Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Black Cliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even...
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
Huh.
What? That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Oh, nur Fischsuppe.
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions?
Ja, wenn sie Kontakt auf die frische Tat ertappen.
Not a bad idea. Upe, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Juri, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Okay. Was das auch immer bedeuten soll?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially when he thinks he's about to win. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yohai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next.
Da wird zu seinen Boys gehen.
Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the show.
Weißt du, stell dir vor, du sitzt da unten und denkst dir so, ja, wer hat denn gewonnen? Und dann denke ich mir so, moin, ich bin da.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the results of the assessment process. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates. And now, it falls to me to give him a satisfactory answer.
Okay, wer hat
All of
gewonnen?
us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with other people.
Das ist natürlich doof für ihn.
Ningbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough, and because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board, and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue.
Das ist doch gut.
After much consideration, I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Qixing.
Genau.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced.
Mhm, natürlich, du warst überrascht. Ja, ja, ja.
All three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly aware of your great talents. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
Ah.
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make Uncle Tien proud.
Ja, ja, hart arbeiten wird er wahrscheinlich nicht für
I will
Onkel
live
Tien.
up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like to join me?
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Aw.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't?
Gute Frage.
I'm not accepting this result.
Kann ich das später sagen?
Also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
Los, 21. Njong.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Juri has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Okay.
Quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without being seen.
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's subordinates? I guess Zhi didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being watched.
But how?
Er ist einfach
Don't
schmort.
blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tien himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Shinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover.
No.
I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then. But without any evidence, that would have been meaningless.
Das ist richtig.
So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Shinyue kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. Let's go to
Fischanalogien.
Shinyue kiosk.
Yay. Ich mag's da drin immer.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Das ist nichts Normales, da fragt man mal nach.
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Doch, eigentlich schon.
Let's
Das
tone
ist
this
dein
down a
Laden.
little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
Ah,
Bottle of liquor?
von Fake-Wein?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wineware. I see. Let's go.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Yep, genau. Jetzt müssen wir hier wieder raus. Warum sind wir überhaupt hier reingegangen?
Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Jur-E ordered a wineware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had to come and take a look for ourselves.
Ja, direkt wieder am Lügen.
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Jur-E's choice. Would you be able to show us the one he bought?
Jur-E picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury item.
Das ist doch was Gutes.
Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Jur-E has taken one, I'm afraid it may encourage the price to go up a little.
Okay, das ist nicht schlimm.
Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one thing. Did Jur-E's wineware set include wine glasses, or...?
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Jur-E bought 2.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have to mull it over.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right, see you next time.
Ja, ja, das schaffen wir schon.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without being seen.
Wow.
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
Fair point.
Der arme Wuppe.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinyue kiosk anyway? To celebrate?
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Jur-E isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to
weil
his
sein
father.
Vater Alkoholiker war. Ergibt Sinn.
If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol, let alone buy a pair of special wine glasses.
Das ist auch wieder wahr.
No, this is a victory feast, held in honor of Jur-E's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status, hence the need for expensive-looking wineware.
Kennen wir so einen?
Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Naja, in der Bank hier.
Fatui officials. Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland Bank.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move? If so, you can count me in.
Noch nicht ganz, aber wir sind dabei.
Program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Jury may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for his drinking buddy. In which case, we don't need to change tactics. Just change who we're following.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Jury bought that liquor for and follow them instead!
Ja, danke, dass du alles wiederholst, Paimon.
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
Ja, egal.
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Jury is gambling everything on this. If we really want to catch him, we're going to have to accept a little risk ourselves. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else Jury might be going. I want eyes on those locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Don't worry, Lady.
Wie viele Leute hat sie denn?
Jury may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all Fatui officials.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready. Then meet me at Yenshang Tea House.
Machen wir.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Ah.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place Jury mentioned in his manifesto.
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice, I'll give them. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
Dann auf geht's.
Oh, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this time.
Guck mal, hier ist wohl ihr Feldlager gewesen.
This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
Unten willst du also hin? Okay. Nicht hier, ne? Nee, schon hier unten dann. Ja. Okay.
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. I can't guarantee we'll be safe once we're underground. The workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier journey. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly and quietly. We don't want to attract too much attention.
Das schaffen wir.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them, but they'll join us later.
Okay. Wir haben auch Yelan.
Quietly.
Ups.
Take it easy. Really?
Die haben mein Ding abgebrochen, mein Angriff. What the fuck?
As I expected. But this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Jetzt weiß ich immer, wenn ihr Armad leuchtet, kann sie halt instant einen aufgeladenen Schuss abgeben.
Guys, see that? That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he went through that door. That must be the emergency access route, right? Come on, let's hurry.
Ja, haben wir hier wieder ein Puzzle oder was?
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Was bist du denn? Ein Feuerding. Okay, also brauchen wir noch ein zweites Feuerding, I guess. So, und hier ist das zweite Feuerding.
Take it easy.
wir haben den Fluss etwas verschoben. Interesting.
The water's gone down. Hey, look! Is that another way through?
Ah ja.
The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Das ist schon mal richtig. So, wir brauchen erstmal Platz zum Rotieren. So. Du kommst weg. Du auch. Und dann nur noch den Jungen. Und dann war's das doch, oder?
The door is open. Let's
Ja.
go.
Easy.
Be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Witness the power.
Nein, ich habe falsch gedrückt.
Take it easy.
Tianshu und Yelan Ultimate zusammen ist halt einfach leicht übertrieben. Und sogar beide fast wieder fertig.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed.
Ah, da ist er ja.
Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Sorry, that went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this strong before. It'll take me some getting
Oh,
used
der hat dich gerade vergiftet. Wer weiß.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass?
Ja, er ist halt nicht so ein Alkoholiker wie du.
I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup.
Ach so, deswegen fühlt er sich schlecht von der Supersuppe.
Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Oh, du Armer.
I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all your hard work. But I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people.
Danke, dass du so oft sagst.
I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result. How did you think of that?
Der muss ja probiert haben, um das
It
rauszufinden.
struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tianshu. Of course, this is as long as you continue to do as we instruct.
Ja, das schafft er, glaube ich, schon.
Aside from
Oder auch nicht, jetzt wo wir drin sind.
we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of in due course.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was recently. It's all Jury's doing. What a nasty guy. Seize him!
Danke, dass du es nochmal gesagt hast, Paimon. Wir haben es eben nicht verstanden.
Did you bring a camera?
Natürlich.
If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Tianshu Pool. It's been a real headache for me. But soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. Thank you, Jury.
Das ist ja nett.
I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still remember what I said to you?
Arbeite mit uns zusammen oder ich bring dich um
How
vielleicht?
could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu, no matter how hard I work. The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think you were absolutely right.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow wider over time.
Ich meine, theoretisch ja. Das ist ja auch ähnlich wie mit Aktien und Geld. Wenn du mehr Geld hast, um es reinzustecken, kriegst du auch schneller mehr Geld raus. Als wenn du da kein Geld hast, um es reinzustecken.
Just look at your two competitors. Qianwei had wealth. Mingboa had reputation. But you had nothing. You were just another nobody.
Danke, dass du ihn dran erinnerst.
And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Ah, er ist also ein Hund für euch.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Hey, keep up the good work, and I can assure you, you'll never have to worry about Mora again. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Hört sich natürlich nett an, nur leider wird das nie passieren.
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time, so the Fatui persuaded him that he should act while he can. Do you have any more film in the camera?
Noch super viele. Let's go.
Get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale should be coming up any minute now. How well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E plays his hand.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm gonna drink my fill. Make sure to get me home safely afterward.
Ja, Idiot.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Ja, Wein ist auch so eine Sache. Absolut kein Fan von, um ehrlich zu sein.
Great. Huh? What the?
Der ist auch vergiftet. Der hat den Doppelvergifter gespielt.
You poisoned my wine? But when?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could you?
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again.
Also ist er doch der Böse. Er hätte ja auch der Gute sein können, indem er ihn vergiftet und einfach nur die Position sich ergaunern wollte, aber naja.
You imbecile.
Ja gut, in Anführungszeichen.
It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation, the embassy will come after you. They'll get to the bottom of this. Mark my words.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives, the ruins will collapse, and everything will be buried.
Boah, ist ja schlau.
What do you hope to?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become one as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that led to the accidental deaths of the entire crew.
Ist ein leichter Psychopath.
Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame it all on a rogue operation by you. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then, I'll be Tianshu in my own right, with a clean record and well out of the Fatui's reach.
Ja, gut, hätte funktioniert, aber wir haben es leider mitbekommen.
Yuri, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes the poison, all interactions between us, even my trip here tonight.
Ja, die Fatui sind alle die Deutschen aus dem Zweiten Weltkrieg. Gut zu wissen.
After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theophan?
What? How do you know about that?
Damn, ist das
Because
smart.
when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today.
Natürlich, es sind immer die in zweiter Position, die ich verraten.
He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long time now.
Genau deswegen.
That traitor! Cheryi, you!
Shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice or about to be taken out of the picture.
Okay.
Sweet dreams, Mr. Yusaba.
Zünd das doch bitte nicht an. Müssen wir jetzt kämpfen? Nein, okay. Das sind aber viele Leute. Der hat nicht mal ein Auge. Dieses 2 Sekunden Laufen, um von einer Katze in die nächste zu kommen, ist so Schwachsinn immer.
3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely. Want to see them?
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Miss Yelan. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only too happy to have you join me in investigating this matter.
Nein, danke.
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien's.
Tja, daran hast du nicht gedacht.
Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then. Time to go.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. I should have been more careful.
Aber wer wird denn der Tianshu? Beide vielleicht? Die übrigen noch sind?
You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous treatment in the future.
Ich glaube, dass Yelan so hoch über den Xixing ist, dass sie sowieso alles machen kann, was sie will. Und bekommt.
I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
Du hattest noch viele Möglichkeiten gehabt.
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think?
Ja, was wird der Onkel Tian dazu sagen? Der hat hier immer vertraut, ne?
Exactly. Juri, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to deceive yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tian ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with, you threw it away in that moment.
Ja, ist nicht so schlau von ihm gewesen.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tian was always going to give you this opportunity, even if you'd done nothing at all.
Uff, da hat's aber auch recht.
Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough. That's enough.
Der ist aber weinerlich.
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Juri these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Was?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yenshang Tea House tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals.
Ich bin auch ein professioneller Mensch.
Don't worry. As long as they're willing to cooperate, this'll be a straightforward deal. Get some rest. See you tomorrow.
Dann bis morgen. Also nicht für euch, sondern ne, nur für uns im Spiel.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baiju, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years.
2 bis 3 Jahre, nicht schlecht.
It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point, things would have been much more serious.
How did they successfully
successfully secure such a seldom seen poison. It seems the Fatui are extremely resourceful.
Hört doch auf ranzuzoomen, wenn ihr keine ordentliche Textur für die Schlange habt, Mann.
Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tian will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. I'll have to make some tea in a moment. You simply have to try it.
Ja, ich nehme gerne welchen. Geht's dir denn besser?
Yes. The exhaustion seems to have gone. My mind is steadily getting clearer again.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here.
Gut, also wird's keiner von
The
denen.
assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tian. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position. But Qianwei and Mingbo both have potential.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this. But whenever it happens, it's still a dismal experience.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tian not that surprised?
vielleicht juckt es ihn einfach gar nicht mehr.
Don't underestimate Uncle Tian. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Zhi. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tian?
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But I have to be responsible with the position of Tianshu.
Ich meine, ist auch schlau von ihm am Ende, ne?
First met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated him.
Ah, von Anfang an.
I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just saw me as an ordinary fishing friend. In the end, even he changed.
Ja, wenn das alles nicht passiert wäre, hätte es tatsächlich geschafft, ne?
To recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. Family background and fame mean everything to many people, but I don't attach great importance to them. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things.
Naja,
what I
das
really
Ding ist,
admired about Zhi was his intelligence and resilience.
der Ruf von einer Person hat halt absolut nichts zu tun, was eine andere Person macht. Also, wenn ich einen guten Ruf habe, dann haben meine Kinder theoretisch den gleichen Familienruf, aber sie können totale Hurensöhne sein. Deswegen,
I have to admit, he's a smart guy. And
wenn
very
jemand einen guten
cautious.
Ruf hat, gilt es auch nur für diese Person und nicht für irgendwen, mit dem sie zusammenarbeitet.
The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Xinyue kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to him. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor.
Das ist tatsächlich schlau.
Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Zhi would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote shortly afterwards.
Damn, der ist echt schlau.
That's still really dangerous.
Yes, had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve his goal.
How is Zhi now?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the price.
Das ist richtig.
Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
Was für ein Angebot hast du ihm unterbreitet?
Deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Juri's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I realized. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought I might have the chance to catch a big fish.
Ah.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the last second.
Oh, schade.
Uncle Tian? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't understand.
Das ist gut, Paimon. Musst du auch nicht.
Colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui.
Das ist ja gar nicht schlecht.
Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, das hast du die ganze Zeit schon geplant.
Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang.
Und
But when we
dann?
tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone, along with all the evidence.
Oh.
The Fatui must be spying on us.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved.
Oh. Pantalon.
The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as a peripheral concern.
Aber einer der 11 hat sich, also der Harbinger, hat sich trotzdem direkt damit beschäftigt. Also es ist doch wichtig genug.
Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a starting point for my next mission.
I have to ask, Yelan, do you have any desire to take over the position of Tianshu yourself?
Wahrscheinlich nicht. Wahrscheinlich will sie einfach ihren aktuellen Job
I
weitermachen.
remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House. In my estimation, you are more than competent.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking.
Ich meine, da müsstest ihr einen Ersatz für Yelan finden, weil die macht ja doch sehr wichtige Arbeit für euch.
I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any real danger. All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days and I still have to prepare.
Where are you off to this time?
Sie sucht den Harbinger.
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another misadventure before too long.
Wir werden uns bestimmt noch mal sehen.
Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you for a lot of reasons.
Ja, und wenn die mich beobachten, dann hau ich denen ins Gesicht.
If you have
Ganz
any more
einfach.
questions, just ask Uncle Tian. After the recent turn of events, I'd say he owes you one, wouldn't you?
Ganz viel Urgestein wäre ganz nett. Auftrag abgeschlossen. Chance im Schachmatt. So, hast du noch was Sinnvolles zu sagen? Über G, über Jan und über Pantalon. Das will ich wissen.
Regrator is the 9th of the Fatui Harbingers, though likely the first among them where wealth is concerned. However, his wealth is not a mere question of how much more he has to his name. He has a very unique understanding of wealth. And what he's planning may very well shake the world to its core.
Ich freue mich schon, den kennenzulernen irgendwann.
Beyond that, I don't have a lot of information about him. If you need to know more in the future, you can ask Ningguang.
Werde ich machen. Dann ist es das hier aber auch gewesen. Wir gehen und bringen unseren Traveler um. Mehr oder weniger. Er schwimmt einfach etwas. Und ich würde sagen, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, hauen Sie rein und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye bye.